I have some college football conversations that I hate and I almost refuse to take part in, and maybe at the top of the list is trap games. So I'm not talking about it. You talk about it. I'm Doug, you're Bill.
Yeah, people think that Ohio State's walking into a trap because last year when they beat Penn State by a point, the next week they went out and got obliterated by Iowa at Iowa. I get that. I'm on the same page as you. I don't really like that line of conversation either, but I think it's valid given what happened last year. I just don't think this is the same situation. I don't think Indiana is as good as that Iowa team was last year. Nate Stanley, Iowa's quarterback, is going to play in the NFL. I don't think Peyton Ramsey, Indiana's quarterback, will be. But mostly, it's here. It's not in Iowa City where weird things tend to happen anyway. So I'm not really on alert for it. I know Indiana has traditionally played Ohio State pretty tough, especially when Kevin Wilson was there. But I don't think it's going to happen. I think they learned their lesson last year, and they'll be fine.
I think the hardest thing about the game last year was not that it was the week after Penn State, it's that it was in Iowa City. If you want to talk about places in the Big Ten that are really hard to play at when the team there is pretty decent, and Iowa's pretty decent most years, and that's always a tough place to play. I'll have that conversation. Also, not my favorite conversation, but I'll have that before, because I think made a point at the time of I don't think this is a hangover loss. I think they got out executed. I thought it was game plan both sides of the ball. I thought maybe JT had a hangover because he was so good against Penn State. He was like, I'm going to rip it against Iowa, and he threw 4 picks. But they were trying to make the play. That loss kept them out of the playoff. Yep. It's and they knew that. They didn't have wiggle room. They were out of wiggle room already. So it's I don't think they overlooked Iowa. I think they just got whacked because Iowa was practically perfect that day. And I can't possibly fathom the idea that they're going to pull this Penn State win out of the air like Houdini and then give it away. Against Indiana.
Do you buy the fatigue thing at all? That was a tough game last year against Penn State, and it was a tough game they just played. I think that was a part of it too.
I will, and I think you are correct. I buy it because I think that's what everybody always talked about when the SEC was good. It's like the meat grinder. It's just harder to win games because every week you get beat up. Yeah. So they're beat up. And Chase Young played 1 million snaps, and all their best players played 1 million snaps. That I'll buy. The emotion of oh, we beat Penn State, we can take a week off now and getting whooped. I don't see that at all. But they might be tired.
Yeah, I think they will be. I think that they've had games. TCU's the only game this year where they haven't gotten the young guys into the game. They had 3 games this year where the starters didn't play an entire half. That was a very taxing game. It was a physical game against Penn State. So if there's a hangover from that, makes sense to me. I just don't think it leads to a loss against Indiana.
I agree. Physical hangover, maybe. Mental hangover, nope. He's Bill. I'm Doug. We'll see you Saturday when maybe we'll be hungover at cleveland.com.